All right, all right, yes, all right, we're doing it. Ah, that music gets me jazzed up. I'm Franz. Welcome to the town hall for October 2021 for Concrete CMS. Uh, we're gonna get right into it. We're gonna try to have a slightly shorter format this time. Get faster into Q&A, spend more time really town halling, less time doing showcases and other stuff. We're going to start splitting some of that off into other video segments that come out throughout the month. So if you've got questions, stick them in there now, and we will get to them as quickly as possible. First, let's do some news though. Frantically working away on version 9, getting it out of release candidate and ready to release as official by the end of the month. How's that going, Andy?
It's going well. It's going well. We've got the kind of last few hurdles has really been kind of making sure that the new theme customizer works with the with old themes and making sure that old themes, including Elemental, which was kind of 80% there, works really 100% the way it always used to, so that when people upgrade, they're not confused as to why their site looks different if they're using supposedly the same theme. So just kind of polishing that up, and yeah, it's looking really, really good, and we are on track to make that deadline.
Nice, very cool. Another thing that we're doing that is a little different for us that hopefully everybody likes is we've got a full-time tech writer burning away the midnight oil on making documentation for the new features in version 9. Obviously, there's some big stuff with containers and boards, multi-site. I'm spacing something else right now because I know it was a list. It's always a list of 3. There's something else that he was
New
going
file
into.
manager.
File
There's
manager.
lots of stuff. I'm sure
Um,
there's big stuff too. Yeah.
yeah, if there are specific things that you really think that we should be focusing more energy on, stuff that even in version 8 you guys struggle with, would love to know. Let us know, and that will help us focus that energy on making the documentation that you need, the bridging the information gap from here to there. What else is going on? The hosting platform that we've been working on is in early beta, so we've got a few people who we've invited to take a look at that and play with it. It's the same basic approach that we use for managing our very complicated, high availability government and Fortune 500 sites. So, Git-based deployment and multiple instances that you can push a stage to and that kind of thing. If that is the kind of hosting environment that is at all appealing to you, we would love to hear from you and would be happy to set up a demo and get your feedback and let you play with that a little bit. It's still early days with it, but it's very cool. Other news, what else is going on? We were listed as the category leader in SourceForge Fall 2021. That is nice. Thank you, everybody who goes over there and gives us positive reviews. We ask on occasion, so hey, can you go to this site or that site to give us a review? And I'm sure that is kind of tedious because you're like, dude, I already use it. I already said I liked it. But it really does help us get the word out and grow, and that enables us to make new features and document them and that kind of thing. So thank you to everybody who has given us a positive review on SourceForge and any of the other sites out there. Let's see, show and tell submission and comparison articles. So there was a blog post that you can find in our blog not too long ago where we were asking for your help in writing some content around concrete. We are really trying to reach out to the larger web development and open source community and say, look, we're here. If you're tired of building websites and other systems, you should really be checking out Concrete. We still manage to kind of fly under the radar a lot, and so we're trying to fix that. And we could really use your help to do that. It would be far more compelling to hear it from somebody else's voice than ours. So if you know another CMS reasonably well, and perhaps you use that for some projects, but you use Concrete for others, we'd like to know why. If you come from another CMS and you thought, oh boy, I really, my life is better in these ways, that information is tremendously valuable to us. So if you would be willing to write that up, we would love to hear from you regardless. But if you're willing to write it up and post it to your blog, we'd be willing to pay you something. So go find that blog article. It's in the recent blog posts. We're talking about product comparisons. We're talking about case studies. Here's this cool thing that I built. We've done these kind of how I built this segment as part of this show. We're going to split that off into its own thing. When we did the Cascadia conference back in, I think it was 2019, late 18, we had a couple of different sessions, but one of them was a show and tell where everybody got 10 minutes to just kind of talk about their own projects. And it was really compelling. It went long. It was fun. Everybody had a really good time showing off their work and kind of learning, oh, wow, you can do that. That's a cool way to approach it. So we want to bring some of that life back to the community. I think the best way to do that is these kind of granular videos. So you don't have to sit through me jabbering at you right now. Those should be their own pieces of content. So if you've got something cool you want to show off, just a sexy site that you built with concrete, or a site that does something, has some interactive area, we'd love to hear from you. Help us by putting together a little video that we can put under our YouTube account. I'll pay you for that too. Why are you reformatting my notes? That's so intense. Okay, that's cool. Here we go. First an article. Blah, blah, blah. Last thing in my news, services partner program. So you will find a link to partners in the footer of concretecms.com. You will see we've taken a little bit of energy into kind of splitting out the different types of partners that we work with. On kind of one end of the spectrum, there's technology partners that might be someone that we build an add-on for in the marketplace. We've got some regional partners like Cats from Japan and their team. Services partners is a big part of our success. So we don't design or build websites here at Portland Labs. You guys do. We would love to host those sites if there's some value we can add. But we are often hearing from folks that say, look, I need a new design shop, or I need someone to build some feature on top of my existing site. And we need good partners to recommend them to go work with. And so that means people in different time zones. Often still these days and age, people want to work with someone somewhat local, particularly for design type stuff. So we need partners. So what are the advantages in being in our partner program? Well, you might get work referrals. We've set up a private area in the forums for partners, so you can discuss amongst yourselves questions and answers, and we'll look in that private area more frequently than we do in the public forums, I guess. Like, I'm not going to promise you an answer to technical questions there, but I'll certainly try to get you one. And other benefits, discounts on training, all sorts of stuff as it becomes more available, more obvious, more stuff will be available. All you have to do to join the Services Partner Program is pass level 8 editor certification. There's no annual fee, and in fact, level 8 certification at this point is free as well. So it is a program at no cost to you. You get a shiny badge that you can put on your website. We add another badge to your profile. It's good stuff all around. So we would like to see our partner program growing. You should go fill out that partner form. Jess Dunbar or I will be in touch, and we will help you through the process of coming on. You can help us turn this partner program into something that is really compelling for everyone. Super. Any other news that I'm spacing?
None that I can remember.
I feel like that's a fair amount.
Yeah.
A bit of a fire hose of information. All right, let's move into thank yous, and we're going to start with the new golden baton that we have started doing the last couple of months here. We have made this a badge that one community leader passes on to the next. With that, they get $250 worth of credit on the site and our eternal gratitude. And it's kind of an opportunity for passing it forward, if you will. So last month, the golden baton winner was Noor M. Unkle, and let's check in with him and see who has won the golden baton this month.
Last month, I had the honor of receiving the golden baton from John the Fish, and it is now my duty to pass it on to someone I believe embodies best the spirit of this community. Although many names come to mind, one of them rises above and beyond. That person contributed so much code to Concrete CMS, he probably single-handedly allowed the core team to have any private life at all. He thinks of his Git repositories as his babies, and he made his code so readily stealable, it's almost a shame not to oblige. He's a hero who helped us all break free of the tyranny of the English language, and use concrete in so many different languages in such an easy way. He, whose name I'm about to butcher beyond recognition, may he forgive me, is, I think, the worthiest of the golden baton. Friends to all and teacher to many, I present thee, Michele Locati, the golden baton. May it take its well-deserved place above your fireplace. Thank you.
Awesome.
That was tremendous.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now I feel like we need to actually produce a real golden baton so we can put
Yeah,
it above people's
seriously,
fireplace.
like-
We kind of dropped the ball on our
I know that was
YouTube play
quite
button
the
there.
introduction.
That was great.
Well deserved.
Absolutely. Thank you, Nor. Thank you, Michele. Good job, everybody. We appreciate you. And yeah, as I say every month, it's really cool to be part of something that is bigger than any of us. So thank you very much. We have some more thank yous. Andy, do you want to go into some of these shout outs from the community?
Sure. We've been accepting a lot of code lately with for the new release candidate and for our sort of 8.5 branches. We've got code submissions from Faker Ben Ali, BitterDev, Deek87, Dimger, Hishi, J Peter, Jeff Patcow, Joko Mail 78, John the Fish, KZN-A, M Locati, and Zanweb. And then beyond that, we also have a lot of bug reports, people helpfully testing the release candidate from B. Saladin, CCMN Lil, Dottenbank Project, Gordon C200, Hishi HMONE 23, Infomobi, Italinux, Joko Mail 78, John Everton, John the Fish, Katz Uno. Oh, this is a tough one. Kira Dzlapuki, Martin Kuba, Mesign, SB 1955, TacTac, and Zabatar. Thank you, everyone, for testing the release candidate and help it stay on track.
Nice. Thank you very much. And thanks, John the Fish, for some documentation efforts that you've put through in the last month. We appreciate that too. Cool. Okay. Now is the time where we actually check in with John the Fish and Nor and see what has been happening in the marketplace.
A bit to show you with some new approvals and some catch up. So let's get straight into it. The first add-on is SMS 77, and that was developed by SMS 77. This is another web to SMS service with their own add-on for sending SMS from a concrete dashboard page. You can send SMS messages to individuals or groups of registered users or to entered numbers. The code would also form a good basis for building out custom SMS applications. This add-on is free in the marketplace, but you need to have an account and credit with SMS 77. Next we have Enlil page teas developed by Enlil. For page lists, rather than using the page description property, this add-on extracts content from an actual area of the page. The add-on comes with a single teas block and several templates for the page list block, and also provides templates for pages carousel and a few other page listing blocks, including an element for use with my own Omni Gallery add-on. The price is $25 in the marketplace. Now we have Anti-Spammer Master developed by Nor. This pulls together every spam identification and blocking trick you will have ever heard of, and likely many that you won't already have heard of, all into one big configurable toolkit that you set up by a dashboard page. I think just reading the documentation itself is an education in spam prevention. Anti-Spammer Master then attaches the spam catching tools to your forms and strips out spam before it becomes a nuisance. There is also a report with an analysis of spam caught by each tool. The marketplace price is $85. Now we have a simple support system. This was developed by Fabian Bitter, and he created it to manage support of his own large suite of marketplace add-ons. But you can use it to collect and manage support contracts for anything. For example, you could use this in association with an e-commerce site to manage customer and product support. It provides the usual customer support ticket generating functionality with front-end blocks for the customers to create and view the tickets they've created and the responses from them, and then dashboard pages to manage the actual support tickets, and there's a full email integration with it as well. The marketplace price is $150. The last add-on from me is Hutman Shopify integration. This was developed by Hutman, and as it says in the title, it integrates with Shopify. It actually predates the Shopify integration we presented back in July, but we didn't have time to show it back then. If I go to the demo site, we have the usual list of products and blocks for showing individual products, a slide out cart, and a useful trick is an automated job to create product pages and synchronize with the connected Shopify account, so saving you having to actually set up product pages within your site. The marketplace price is $25, and you need to use this in association with a Shopify account. Now I have a couple of themes to show you from ZanWeb, and the first of these is Krista. Krista's a bootstrap based theme which comes with 4 different presets and many block templates that could be configured substantially differently, so it's also almost like getting 4 themes in one. I won't show you all 4. We'll start with the business demo for the theme. You can see conventional navigation, a slider, and typical business structuring of blocks with a little bit of animation as we scroll up and down. And now let's have a look at the spa preset. This is as fitting with a spa, more in default colors, nice soothing pastels. There's a slide out menu, which means that the main theme and the mobile theme are very close. And if I close the slide out and scroll down, you can see some animating blocks as we go in with some sliding content and full width banners. So the other 2 presets are optimized for photography and for health, but I'm sure with the many blocks and color settings that you can use, sites will come up with a lot more variations for this general purpose theme. The marketplace price for Krista is $35, and the review was assisted by Talakman and Enlil. Now we have Journey, also by ZanWeb, again bootstrap based, and this time it's aimed at blogging and portfolio sites. So it's some extra blocks and templates specific to these objectives. If we have a look here, this is one of the many blog list templates that's available. All very image oriented, and they have typical tag and topic filtering, but there's also some author based filtering. The marketplace price for Journey is again $35, and the review was assisted by Talakman. Well, that's it from me, so I'll pass you over to Noor for the second part of the marketplace news.
Thank you, John. Hi, everyone. So today my first add-on will be the structured sitemap by developer Affixia. So I don't know if you noticed, but Concrete is full of little settings that are only available through the config file or through attributes that need to be created first. So among those undocumented functionalities are attributes and settings that let you set any page priority in your sitemap. This package gives you easy access to them. First, you'll be able to modify the default priority and change frequency. Then you'll be able to set them for each page individually through a page attribute. And this can help you with your site's SEO. And since it's a free package, you should definitely give it a go. Our second package is Simple Tweets by developer ZanWeb. Simple Tweets is a pretty sweet package, actually. Granted, it's not the only tweet package in the marketplace, but this one has a few tricks up its sleeves that could make it a favorite of yours. First and foremost, it's GDPR compliant, so no fear of antagonizing our European friends. And in the same spirit of security and anonymity, it supports the use of an HTTP proxy. It also comes with 2 templates and plenty of look and feel customization options. And it's supported out of the box by several themes that you'll find listed on its market page. Personally, I really appreciated the reusable options, like your API keys, for instance, that are set from the dashboard and shared among all the blocks to install, so you don't have to enter them again and again and again. This package requires PHP 7.2 at least, and it's free. Third package is Snapshot by the man himself, John the Fish, which I quote allows you to streamline your image workflow. It does much more than that. Explained simply, it lets you capture images of videos from webcams, screen capture, drag and drop, everything straight from Concrete, and lets you give them a title and description. You can edit them, you can annotate them, and then you can insert them right away in the page, right there. And since you can add images by drag and drop, John has made it possible to upload any types of files. It does sound like an admin-only tool, but it's not. You can easily give access to all the tools to any user through Concrete permission system. The tools can be in the toolbar, but also installed as a block, which makes it really trivial to add them to any page. Think user avatars, taking on spot, screenshot for your doc that you can insert right away, any kind of user-oriented workflow for image or file upload. And as usual, John has provided extensive documentations and demos, which will give you a better idea of all the possibilities. This package requires PHP 7, and it costs $50. And last but not least, Energy Steps by developer Linuxoid. So this is a fun little package designed to foster a health-focused spirit in your company. It lets people track the number of steps they took taking part in different activities. You can add as many activities as you like, jogging, walking, cardio, whatever. Define the steps per minute, assign them to different companies and departments, and then you let users enter the data and display it all on any page. You can display it as a table. You have graphs. You can give the big picture pretty easily. You can also filter it all by date, company, department, so it's very flexible. It might be a bit niche, but it's sure to make colleagues develop a spirit of friendly competition. It gets fun pretty quickly. The package comes in English and Russian, like all of Linuxoid packages, and offer a set of sample content to get you started. It costs $49. Well, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Very cool. There's a lot of stuff this time. I think you might be muted, Andy.
Thank you. Yeah, some really nice looking themes in there, especially.
Yeah, super cool. Cool. All right, we have reached the Q&A part of our journey. We've got a couple of queues that kind of made it into the mix between last month and this month. So I'll jump right in order in this doc. There is a reasonably active GitHub discussion on how to manage version information for add-ons, like which version of Concrete an add-on supports. So I know when this question was originally asked, there wasn't as much back and forth. I was reviewing it this morning. It looks like we've kind of reached a spot where it's like, I don't know, it'd be cool if the interface in the marketplace were easier to use. We don't want to try to duplicate data in two spots, but do want to make it easy for people to denote which versions of Concrete their add-ons work with. Yeah,
the initial place that this question came from is John worried about, an existing site that is on 8.5.6 and updates its code base to 9, and some of its add-ons stop working. People want to be able to know that their sites are going to continue to work, that there's compatible versions of their add-ons available. One thing that this issue initially puts forth that I just can't really agree with or wrap my mind around how it would be helpful exactly is we currently have a minimum version required setting in an add-ons controller. So if an add-on requires version 8 and you're on version 5.7, you can't install that. It will complain to you. And he's kind of advocating initially for something similar for a max version, so which would default to 8.5 something, or 7 8.9 whatever, to basically to cut off version 9 initially, unless an add-on developer opted into making explicit that their add-ons worked with that by adding a line in their controller. And I'm not convinced that that's necessary or tremendously helpful. Also, I don't really want to get into a situation where the site reports that an add-on is compatible, and then you go to download it and then install it, and it says, no, I don't work on version 9. That would be bad. So I don't know. There's a lot of back and forth in this issue. Happy to consider all points of view on it for sure. We want to make sure that this is the smoothest transition that we've ever done for a major version. But yeah, this is we could definitely use more discussion on this issue. And it's in GitHub, and maybe we can post it in the chat here as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we can stick a link. It is issue, oh my goodness, 9746. Are those incremental?
Yeah, we're almost to 10,000. Yeah,
Awesome.
we're in 9,900.
It's like a Jay-Z song. Got 10,000 GitHub issues.
This issue kind of reminds me of the trouble we had with version 8 support, this recent upgrade. It's kind of interesting, the comparison, because we had a lot of trouble with some of our dependencies because they had been, they when you install Composer dependencies, it says this is the version I support, and maybe this is the version range I support. And so what happened is a lot of the packages we depend on just don't have version 8 support, or they release version 8 support in a newer, major version change, or, once you tie the version to these sort of, released packages, it ends up making kind of some more pain than you would expect. So it's important to be deliberate about whatever we end up doing.
Yeah, what Corvin's referring to is one of the major kind of developer features, or I don't know how major it is, but a pretty significant developer feature for version 9 is PHP 8 support, which, PHP, it's relatively, our code was relatively simple to update to that. It didn't break in a tremendous number of ways. But when we rely on all these third-party libraries that come via Composer, we don't really get to denote. They are the ones who get to determine which of their libraries are ready for PHP 8, and we can't install the PHP 8 compatible ones unless we upgrade to those. And it was a surprising amount of pain getting that ready. So there are often unintended consequences to moves like this.
All right, well, let's get some more voices on that issue. Sounds like you've got some thoughts as well, Corvin. I'm sure there's other people in the community, and I guess it really does come down to like, what percentage of the add-ons behave in what way on version 9, right? I think that's kind of what we're saying with PHP 8 as well. So it's it's one thing to say, hey, is this optimized for? Is another to like say, hey, does it work?
Yeah.
And so we want to be thoughtful about, hey, we'd like to put our best foot forward. On the other hand, if the layout of a block edit view is a little funky, does that mean someone's, they're forbidden from using that add-on? That seems odd.
Yeah.
So think that stuff through. Okay, next issue. I think this is an easy one, just housekeeping for us. It appears that the version of 8.5.6 on the .org site is slightly different than the one in GitHub.
Oh, that is strange. I saw a post about this, but I haven't had a chance to verify or look through that.
We will take a look later today and make sure that we are serving the same thing from both. Next question I have here, and then it's going to be up to you, Corvin, to shoot them at us. From Hutman Ashley, are the showcases that existed on the old site profiles ever going to be ported over to the new profiles? We had a lot of showcases that we created, and now just gone. We can't access the old information to port them over manually. So let's see. We suffered from having too many different mechanisms for doing showcases and that type of stuff in the old site. So you'll have to forgive me for not knowing exactly which one that you meant. We had kind of case studies that were written bespoke. We had the ability for you to just put a few links on your profile of like, here's my best looking sites. We never did any kind of checks as to what they were. And then we had a community showcase section where you could feed it a URL. It would look for the CCM concrete header tag to verify it was actually a concrete site, which I don't know why we did that, but it seemed really important at the time. and then it would just kind of it would be in a searchable showcase area. That, not surprisingly, got filled with junk. Like, there was some good stuff in there, but there was also a lot of really weird spam, and it just started to become like yet another thing to police up. And you got to be careful about how many of those things you add to your plate, because you don't want to have a big pile of broken sites, or things that have changed to another platform, or things that are straight up just not the type of site you would want to tell everybody that has built your software. So we did kill the community showcase, and we built a new profile section where you can add URLs and screenshots. It's a little bit more portfolio feeling, and a little less kind of automated showcase. That said, as I was saying at the beginning of the show, we are eager to put together how-tos and case studies and that kind of thing. And so if you've got a particularly compelling concrete site that looks good or does something interesting, and you want to write up a kind of a typical 3-part success story, the problem, solution, results, particularly if there's some stats in there, I'd be really eager to work with you on that. And you should reach out to me, because it's probably worth something to me to get some of the better case studies added to the case study section of the new site. So where we are today is there's the kind of highly formatted case studies in the marketing site that you can get to, I think, underneath about, and then there is your portfolio on your profile page. And those are the 2 spots that we've got at the moment for sharing your work. Having access to the old profile, it's hard to say where it lived, but we had screenshots and write-ups about each site. I'll ask Jess if we still have the community showcase stuff somewhere. I think those deep links exist. I guess I would also offer, Concrete has been around now, open source, for, was it like 2009? Late 2008?
Yeah.
So, we want to be showing the new sexy looking sites. Not that eager to have like hundreds of plain yogurt examples out there, as much fun as it was to power those sites a decade ago. So I think probably behooves us all to to clean up a little bit as we've moved into this shiny new website on the other side of town. Probably a good chance to not just schlep all of our old furniture and dump it in the living room, but take a little time to maybe at least read it again, maybe put a slip cover on that couch so it matches our shiny new digs. Other questions, Corbin?
Yeah, we sure have some. So John Steele is asking about block design menu sliders. This is kind of an interesting question. He's saying, are we planning to support other units than pixels, things like EM, REM, percentage, or just auto? And then also tooltips for other text inputs. Is that something we're planning on adding?
Definitely the first half of this question. Yes. So if you look at the new customizer for the Atomic theme, we've kind of rebuilt a fair amount of the actual theme customization widgets, and they all support EMs and REMs, etc. One thing that hasn't really been touched at all in the version 9 that's going to be released this month is the block design. So we kind of have started that process at the theme level, but really haven't touched those block design components. So it is funny, they do feel a little bit more outmoded, because they only have a little pixel next to the value instead of the more modern units. So I definitely would expect that we will take the same attention to block and area design controls that we have to the overall theme customization controls. It'll just probably take another release or two, or another point release, not necessarily another major release. And then the second half of this question, I'm not sure I fully understand. Tooltip samples.
Yeah, I think John is asking if we just plan to kind of spruce up that block design menu interface to make it a little easier for clients to understand what those controls are meant to do.
Sure, that definitely it would be reasonable. We should have someone take a pass on that and look at, there's a fair amount of stuff on there that may not necessarily need to be in there. Like, I don't know if you need to be able to set box shadow from that thing necessarily. Maybe we could clean that up and use I know that I do use block design and area level design, but the stuff that we use there is really we should be putting a lot more emphasis on the kind of core functionality of that stuff, like the margins and spacing and maybe a background image, and a little less on the kind of more esoteric CSS options that we have in there. But yeah, definitely we'll take another look at that, those interfaces soon.
Nice. I got a couple questions from Dom Ari. I want to go with his second question first, if you'll allow it. His second question you've kind of touched upon. He's saying, when is the official release date of 9? He says 5.9, but we're actually calling it version 9.
Yes, always good to reiterate that, Corbin, for sure. Yeah, this is version 9, but we've committed to before the end of this month. Knowing what I know about our organization, that might be a day or two, but definitely not on a Friday. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, next 2 to 3 weeks for version 9.
Nice. And along those same lines, his second question, what's the life cycle for version 8 going to be like?
We actually just were talking about this. Tentatively, post version 9 release, we're looking at doing active 8.5 releases for at least the following 6 months after version 9 is released. And if 5.7 is any indication, it may extend. They'll definitely get less frequent in number, but we do commit to supporting 8.5 for the foreseeable future.
Really with an emphasis on security.
Yeah.
Right. Goal there is security issues that are being triaged and risk ranked above a certain level will get resolved in both version 8 and version 9. So you all can upgrade your sites on a thoughtful timeline.
Yes.
Definitely encourage you to move to 9, and certainly is not, it shouldn't be a huge evolution. I know there's a lot of new and exciting ways to deal with themes and things like containers and the boards block, but you should also be able to upgrade your site, and that should work. So
yes, there are some upgrade issues in the release candidate today. Those are getting ironed out. This in many ways should be a simpler upgrade than going from 5.7 to 8 was. Even some of the 8-point releases had a fair amount going on. This definitely adds a lot of functionality, and we're the themes that are built for it can look a bit different than themes built for version 8, but we're doing a lot to ensure that this is a pretty smooth transition, and themes that are built for version 8 continue to work exactly the way that they used to.
Yeah. So security updates for version 8, if they are, real, I think we were talking about level 8 or above. I think that debate is still happening, whether it's 7 and above or 8 and above, and what does that actually mean. But I think in layman's terms, yeah, if there's a serious security issue, we're gonna release an update to handle it. Probably not going to be too eager to be doing big functional improvements or interface things. We definitely don't want, we're not trying to fork 2 different versions and maintain them both. Like, we're definitely eager to have you move to 9, but we
anything that comes in for version 9, which is a pull request against the develop branch, also has to be made against the 8.5x branch. They have fully and completely diverged. So, we'll definitely take the effort to do that and accept those types of pull requests for security issues. But yeah, like Franz said, unless there's a really compelling reason to add, something fairly small that is a feature and not a fix into both branches, it's probably going to be it's going to really be limited to security updates.
Okay, well, that's the last one on my list.
All right. Well, I said this was going to be a shorter one than normal, but it wasn't. We just like talking about concrete. That is cool. Thank you very much, everybody. It's going to be an exciting October, so we'll see you in 4 weeks with version 9 officially released, and I'm sure a whole bunch of questions to answer then.
Awesome. Thank you.
Bye.